By any account, this is a landmark ruling, as we were just saying. As recently as 2021, the Catholic Church took a very firm stance against the blessing of same-sex unions. 2 years down the road, here we are, nag-shift na yung tone. How is the community seeing this?
Yeah, we do see it generally as a positive development. I think it's good to appreciate the history behind this. Diba, it wasn't so long ago na we've had people of faith saying na makasalanan ang maging LGBT, na wala kayong karapatan maging part ng simbahan. But now we're seeing a change in tone. We're talking about culture. I was listening to your input earlier. Culture doesn't change overnight, diba? We understand that. So we welcome any sort of positive step forward, and this is one of them.
Have you seen the statement of Archbishop Soc Villegas about the landmark ruling that we talked about? Nabasa mo
Yeah,
ba
I
yun?
did. And I do expect na even here in the Philippines, it's still going to be a divided opinion among many people of faith. Because I have worked with, Bahaghari has worked with other Christian denominations, religious bodies, who openly say that they are in support of LGBT rights. So it also remains to be seen how the Catholic Church more broadly will recognize this. But I do want to point out the thing that was raised earlier, we're talking about the Catholic Church, and it's another thing entirely. If we're talking about the law of the land, because ideally there should be a separation of church and state.
Kumusta naman yung sa kabilang side, no? Let's talk about the government and the law side of it all. A lot of the things that you are fighting for, where are those at this point? For example, kanina sabi nga ni Representative Benny Abante, although we know where he's coming from, he's very religious, he expressed opposition to the Pope's ruling. Kamusta yung laban ninyo when it comes to SOGI, etc.?
Okay. Well, when it comes to LGBT rights, diba? Even when it comes to women's rights, napakaraming anggulo yan. Marriage equality is just one of them. Ang isa pong pinaglalaban natin ngayon, the SOGI Equality Bill, or it's basically a law that protects all of us against gender-based discrimination. If we observe the hearings, nakaupo rin po ako dun sa hearings sa House of Representatives. Actually, most of our legislators are either open to it or supportive of the SOGI Equality Bill. But we have people, with all due respect, people like Benny Abante, and I'll state it bluntly, they are a very loud minority in Congress and the Senate who are, and I think it's very unfortunate, making it, they're dedicating their entire political careers to preventing other people from enjoying their rights. But again, I do feel na a conversation like this, it is also why we welcome such a statement by the Pope. Even if we have conditions, it's still a step forward. And it still puts the question that people in Congress, in the Senate, people who are writing our laws, who should be serving us as their constituents, if the Pope himself, regardless of all these conditions, thinks that LGBT couples should be recognized, why don't you? What is our excuse? Diba? Kahit pa sabihin natin na okay, sige, sa Pilipinas, wala talagang separation of church and state. Even by that logic, the head of the Catholic Church is saying na itigil na natin yung lumang paraan na we're very hateful, downright ignorant, no, and instead be more acceptful and loving of other Filipinos, diba? So that's one point that we do want to raise here. Well, we do want to point out, Ms. Gretchen, no, na we welcome such a step forward. We welcome this move. But at the same time, in a practical sense, sa totoong buhay, ang ordinaryong LGBT who's trying to get their love recognized, their love with another LGBT person recognized, we're not talking about the church, di ba? We're talking about legal, civil, and political rights. So while we accept and we see this as a positive development, sa totoong buhay, hindi talaga ang simbahan ang hinihingan namin ng karapatan. It's the duty bearers, the government itself, no, na tinatry nating i-engage. Whether that's in the form of a civil unions bill or amending the Constitution to allow for marriage equality, yung gut issue talaga, no, ng married couples or people who want to be recognized as married ay yung mga economic na mga usapin pagdating sa marital unions. But again, we feel na in such a big and the uphill na battle, we would welcome and we would very much appreciate if maging kasama natin ang simbahan. We understand na the church has had many different opinions in the past, but we also recognize that it is an agent for change. It could be an agent for change in the same way that it has also rectified from its past positions on different issues. So hopefully, makasama natin ang Simbahang Katoliko sa laban natin para sa LGBT. Hindi po magkatunggali ang pagiging Kristiyano at pag-aasam na magkaroon tayo ng pantay na karapatan sa ilalim ng batas.